Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Damn Music Show. We're going to have a a feud situation here that we're going to be discussing today. Darren, what are we talking about?
Pink Floyd, Roger versus David. I'm fascinated because I don't know enough about this story as much as I should.
Yeah.
But
And being like a diehard fan, I should know more.
right.
But it always got to the point of every time I read it, I was like, it seemed pretty basic.
Well, wouldn't this be a boring episode if we knew everything about the feud and we were like, okay, here's what happened, and here's all the problems solved?
Maybe. Well, we wouldn't solve any problems, but knowing all the information might be relevant.
Yes.
Regardless, we know a pretty good amount of information, but more importantly, Pink Floyd is probably my number one band of all time.
I would like to put you on the spot and say if you could reconstruct Pink Floyd with either Roger or David from the very beginning, who would you take and why? I already know the answer, but I want to know why.
I'm going to curveball you. I'm going to give you the answer you didn't think was
Don't
coming.
you say Roger.
And it's going to be like a 60...
No, one
40.
or the other.
60-40. No, I'm saying like I had to pick. It would be Roger.
What?
So... These are facts. David Gilmour was not part of the band when it originally started.
He got it after like year one.
Well, Sid Barrett was part of it, and Roger. Sid Barrett took too much acid. Kids, just FYI, this is what happens potentially.
And the original guy, David Klaus or Klaus, he left after year one. And when Gilmour came in,
so I don't remember that name. Maybe I should.
he was the original guitarist.
Oh yeah,
But he was
correct.
he was part of Pink Floyd before they were technically called Pink Floyd.
Yeah, that was back in those original days.
64.
The story about Barrett, a little derail, which is completely irrelevant though. But apparently he took a little bit too much acid,
Right.
and he played the B note on stage for like an extended period until the band had to be like Sid, are you all right? And then they like took Sid off the stage, and like Sid never returned, which goes
60s.
which goes into my my love for Pink Floyd, because they're so story driven.
Right.
That Sid makes a number of returns in the afterlife to an extent, or his after career, in things like Shine On You Crazy Diamond and Wish You Were Here, in which they pay homage to Sid and say, we wish you were here with us. And this is why I pick Roger Waters. I think Roger Waters is the where were you when the paper was white? I don't think much exists before Roger. I'll get to my qualms with Roger towards the end of this. But in my personal opinion, the band doesn't exist without Roger. I think Roger starts the job, starts the process.
But every Pink Floyd fan I've ever met, and they're very passionate, I met a lot of them, including you, Gilmour's one of the greatest. Rolling Stone named him one of the top 20 guitarists of all time.
Yeah.
He's better than the Speed Demons like Van Halen and everybody else. Don't you? His tone. No, only Gilmour can get those tones. You love the 4-minute solos.
Darren's an Eddie fan, so for sure Darren's biased here, and I am very.
But how
biased.
my question is, how can you discount? How can you pick that?
Yeah, it's funny because David is my number one favorite guitarist of all time.
Right.
So favorite band, you said who would I pick first to start the band?
Yeah, only.
I just think you got to start from the ground floor up. Now, Gilmour's done a bunch of writing as well, and they all have, and they're really all fantastic. So, and I do actually love the Division Bell. So the Division Bell was the reason this whole split. One of the many reasons this split actually happened. After Roger left the band on the wall, they fired, who was it? I think they fired Nick Mason. He was having some drug problems. Roger left the band and then came back and sued the band. So that's kind of where a lot of the problems start. So David and the band wanted to keep going. They wanted to keep playing. They said, well, then F you, we're going to keep doing this. So they created what was called the Division Bell, which I actually love that album. But I'll tell you, like the sauce isn't quite there. And I love it because I love Gilmour. But something was lost on that album.
Who wrote the arrangement of the song? Lyrics are important, but that's only one part. Who wrote the arrangement?
I think they both contributed a lot to the arrangement and the structure. And a lot of times they say that Roger was kind of the brainchild of the like theatrics, the like Broadway style.
If you believe the internet, and why wouldn't you? There's a couple of stories that says Roger does not respect David. That's
So there's like
strange to me.
That would I believe that was Nick Mason talking to Rolling Stone, and he said and so I think this to be very true. I think well, Rogers literally said this a million times. He doesn't feel respected, and like you can listen to somebody that has like a tone when they come off, and this is what's so hard, Roger. Roger, we love you, and in fact, I'm gonna spend a pretty insane amount of money to see you as you come to Austin, Texas. Tickets are on sale this next week. Did you know that?
Yeah.
So we got a new amphitheater in Austin. We just talked about this, actually. That's right, on our radio show. And they are coming to Austin. I am super pumped. I'm going to get some box seats, I think. We are going to get there early, stay late, and I'm really excited about it. But Roger just says things like, I remember he had an interview. The Wall has been a great success, this tour. Now this is the second rendition of it. And I was listening to an interview, and when you just cringe, you're listening to an interview and you're just like, oh man, I have a hard time listening to this. They asked him questions like, how do you feel now that The Wall has come about and it's having such profound success, even without, of course, David Gilmour and the fabled musician? And he's like, vindicated. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, you're like the greatest, potentially arguably one of the greatest writers and rock bands of all time. And like, your foot is so far in your mouth. So it pains me to watch this. And then, David Gilmour's easy to love because David's always just like, yeah.
Well, we would like to ask you, who do you have, Roger versus David? I would have to go with David. Even I have a limited amount of knowledge of Pink Floyd. I've got to go with the guitar player. What I don't understand, I will never understand, is they are 76 and 78 years old, right? Right. My grandfather and father both died at age 70. Both of you guys are lucky to be alive, let alone still physically able.
Yeah.
Why can't they just showed up to work on the stage? They don't have to talk to each other, walk onto the stage.
On separate
Gilmour can stand on one side.
What's really the saddest about
Roger,
this is like,
and put all the other band members up right in the middle.
What's so sad about this is like, how many great bands do we never have the chance to see again?
Right.
But like Pink Floyd, is most of the members are around. They could play. They're big too, or are ready to rock.
They came out in 1964.
It's insane. It's really sad because there's like, I don't know. It just would be it'd be a miracle for me to like watch that show. But I'll tell you what, Gilmour, you start your tour. You can call it the Division Bell. Rogers, you do yours. I'll see you both separately. They'll be freaking amazing. They'll be amazing.
Get over yourself. Get over yourself. I mean this serious, guys. You guys are lucky to be still on this planet.
Yeah.
Let alone still physically able. Phil, I saw Willie Nelson. God bless him. He's 87 years old. Has to sit on a stool to play.
Yeah.
Phil Collins is singing on a stool. He's not physically able to play drums anymore. He said publicly, "Come see me before I die." That's what he says, because he's got a health problem. Yeah. Guys, get over yourselves and get it together.
Yeah. So, at the end of the day, I choose both. They're both my favorites of all time. And the true reality is that, like, I'm a lyricist first and foremost. I studied English in college. I love lyrics. I think a song can go to immortality with the right words behind it. And, I'll tell you, I know pretty much every solo. And I know most of the lyrics. They're just amazing.
I'll bet you, whoever dies first, the other one's going to regret not patching that stuff up.
Oh, that for
Get
sure.
together,
for sure.
Create a tour, call it the Cain and Abel tour.
Nice.
There you go. There's a freebie for you.
The Phoenix tour. All right, guys. Well, let us know who you guys got in this battle between David Gilmour and Roger Waters. Also, support at least one of them for right now. Maybe go see some Waters as he comes out. I'm like so pumped, Darren. I'm so pumped to see that.
Take out a third mortgage on your house.
I will take out a third mortgage on my house to go see you, Roger Waters. I'll have the buffet and the private entrance, okay? All right, guys. Well, we'll catch you on the next one. Until then, later.